Have you ever wondered how technology could potentially revolutionize the way we produce our meat? Currently, traditional meat production has significant environmental impacts, from greenhouse gas emissions to deforestation. But imagine a world where we could produce meat sustainably, without the ecological footprint. This is where lab-grown meat comes into play. Through innovative technologies, we can culture meat in a lab, using animal cells, thereby bypassing the need for livestock farming. Now let's dive into how we can actually create lab-grown meat. You might be wondering, how does one grow meat in a lab? It sounds like science fiction, but it's actually quite straightforward. Let's delve into it. First up, we start with the extraction of animal muscle stem cells. These cells are the key building blocks for the meat we consume, able to multiply and grow into muscle tissue. So, where do we get these cells? They are harmlessly harvested from a living animal, promising a future where meat production doesn't require animal slaughter. Now, these harvested cells need a conducive environment to grow. That's where our next innovative element comes in: scaffolds. But these aren't just any scaffolds, they're 3D printed using a plant-based ink. This ink is a marvel in itself, derived from what most would consider food waste, like cereal husks. The researchers mix cereal proteins extracted from barley or rye with corn protein to produce this plant protein-based ink. The scaffolds formed provide the necessary structure for the cells to grow into muscle tissue, essentially acting as the framework upon which our meat is built. And the best part? The ink is fully absorbed into the meat product, contributing to the generation of texture and structure in the meat. So, think of it like this. The stem cells are like seeds, the scaffold is the soil, and the plant-based ink provides the nutrients. Together, they create a controlled, efficient, and cruelty-free process for growing meat. But why go through all this trouble, you ask? The answer lies in the environmental and economic benefits. This method drastically reduces production costs, making lab-grown meat a viable alternative for the future. Moreover, it utilizes food waste, turning something previously discarded into a valuable resource. This not only reduces waste, but also alleviates the environmental pressure from animal agriculture. So we've managed to create meat in a lab, but what does this mean for our future? Let's explore that in the next segment. The implications of lab-grown meat go far beyond our dinner plates. Lab-grown meat, or cultured meat, as it is also known, holds the potential to revolutionize not just our food industry, but also our environment. You see, traditional livestock farming is a significant contributor to greenhouse gas emissions. It's responsible for almost 15% of all human-induced emissions, according to the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. By switching to lab-grown meat, we could dramatically reduce these emissions. But the environmental benefits of lab-grown meat don't stop at reducing greenhouse gases. Traditional livestock farming requires vast amounts of land, contributing to deforestation and loss of biodiversity. Lab-grown meat, on the other hand, requires a fraction of the space, allowing us to preserve more natural habitats and protect our planet's biodiversity. Now let's talk about the cost. The recent innovation in 3D printing scaffolds using plant-based ink derived from food waste could significantly reduce the cost of large-scale cultured meat production. This affordable and efficient method means that lab-grown meat could become a viable and sustainable alternative to traditional meat. But there's more. This process also helps to tackle the issue of food waste. Researchers have found ways to use cereal husks, a common food waste product, to create the plant-based ink used in the scaffolds. This means that not only are we finding a new, innovative use for food waste, but we're also reducing our reliance on traditional livestock farming, thereby alleviating some of the environmental pressure caused by animal agriculture. As these technologies continue to evolve, the possibilities seem endless. Lab-grown meat could help us to create a more sustainable, environmentally friendly, and cost-effective food system. The potential benefits are enormous, from reducing greenhouse gas emissions, preserving biodiversity, and utilizing food waste, to making high-quality protein sources more accessible and affordable. As we move forward, lab-grown meat could very well become the new norm. In just a few minutes, we've explored a potential future where lab-grown meat could revolutionize our food systems. We delved into the innovative process of creating meat in a lab, using 3D printing ink derived from food waste like cereal husks. This not only makes the production more cost-effective but also leverages waste, contributing to a sustainable future. We've also discussed how this technology could significantly ease the environmental strain caused by traditional animal agriculture. The future of meat production is here, and it's being shaped by advances in technology and a commitment to sustainability. So the next time you bite into a burger, it might just be one that was grown in a lab.